Hello, and welcome to my tutorial for I Have to Find a Way. So, let's go ahead and get started right on into this. A few things to note beforehand about this song is that there are a few portions of it that do require a bit of practice to get down, and actually you're going to start off pretty quick with them, starting even as early as part 1. Now, you can't get discouraged that these things are going to be a little difficult, because even for me when I first tried learning this, I ended up having to play it over and over again to try to get the rhythm down in the right hand while playing what I was playing in the left hand. It took me a long time to get that to actually mesh together properly. So don't be discouraged if you start learning this song and can't get that down right away. It just takes a little bit of practice and dedication to figuring it out, and it'll help, in the future with any other songs that you have, a rhythm going on in the right hand that's pretty steady while you're doing stuff in the left hand. So, anyway though, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's how it's going to sound all the way through. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the left hand. That's pretty simple. It's just a whole bunch of 3-note chords going down, and then you run up and hit another 3-note chord. It just goes. I know I kind of hit that top note with 2 fingers there. It's just a little difficult doing all this with only one hand at a time. Hit the right notes though, so anyway. Let me go ahead and slow that down for you though, and I'll break it down. So. So yes, here's how the right hand sounds all the way through. Okay, now let me break that down for you. And at the end you have that octave. Okay, now I'm going to play through it nice and slow so you can see how they both mesh together. Okay, so let's get moving on into part 2. Now, part 2 is definitely easier than part 1, so let's get right into it. Here's how it sounds with both hands. And notice that actually ends on the same as part 1 did. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the left hand. So here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. Okay, let's move on into the right hand now then. So, this one's much easier than the first part, and here's how it goes. Okay, let me go ahead and break that down for you. Okay, now I'm going to play through with both hands nice and slowly for you. Okay? Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get moving on into part 3. Now, it's actually similar in difficulty to part 2. So, yeah, let's get right on into it. Here's how it sounds with both hands. Actually, a little bit easier than part 2. So, yes, let's go ahead and start with the left hand. Essentially, it's just going over the same stuff we just did in part 2. Just from here. And back to... Except you don't even have to do the other little bit there. So yeah, it's like part 2. Except it doesn't have the... at the end of it. So yeah, simple stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and get moving around into the right hand then. So yes, here's how it goes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slow that down for you because that was a little fast. Okay, now I'm going to play through it nice and slow for you. Okay, let's move on into part 4. And it's a return of the thing that's going on in part 1, so it's going to be a little more difficult unless you've gotten down the stuff from part 1. So again, make sure you get down that rhythm in the right hand, because here's how it's going to sound with both hands. Okay, now that went pretty fast. So, yes, let's go ahead and start with the left hand. Actually, the left hand isn't doing all that much. So yes, here's what it is. I slow it down for you. Or, you know, break it down for you. Okay, so let's get moving right into the right hand then. So here's how it's going to go. Okay, so what you might have noticed with the right hand is that it's doing a little bit of the left hand's work, because the left hand, near the end of the part, is going... But what the right hand's doing here is it's hitting 2 octaves that the left hand, I suppose, would have been hitting. It's essentially hitting... It's the O, Y, that sort of bit. But it's doing it while still going up to do the run-up here. So it's... And then the left hand comes back in to finish that off. So they're jostling around a little bit with which voice is doing which job. Just so you know, that's why these notes are being hit. Anyway though, let me go ahead and slow down the right hand for you then. Okay, so here's how it's going to sound all the way through. Nice and slow. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into part 5 now. So here's how it's going to sound with both hands. Okay, now the left hand is kind of, you know, going along with the beat over here. I know in my original cover art I just have it going... I don't have it doing anything special out of the ordinary there, but over time I've actually adapted it to it just kind of goes a little bit more with the beat of what's going on. So yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the left hand there. So here's how it's going to sound. down for you. Okay, we're going to start with the right hand now. Now, it's a little bit more difficult than the left hand here, and you'll see why in just a moment. So, here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, now that went pretty fast, so let me go ahead and slow it down for you. Okay, so now I'm going to play through it slowly with both hands. Okay, let's move on into part 6. So, here's how it sounds all the way through with both hands. Just as a note before we go deeper into this one, that very last ending note should be kind of rolled from the low to the high, so we're going to start down here with this pinky and just roll it up. Just for the last note. I think it adds a nice effect to it. Anyway though, let's go ahead and start with the left hand. Okay, let me go ahead and slow that down for you. Again, there's that roll there. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into the right hand now. Now, I kind of argue that this is probably one of the hardest parts of this song, is you have a lot going on in the left hand like we just saw, and the right hand also, because you have this little bit at the end of it where you have to kind of tweak your arm over to get a comfortable grip on where the notes are. Anyway though, here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, let me go ahead and slow it down for you and break it down. Okay, again, there's just a lot going on over there, so it can be a little bit challenging because the left hand's jumping around a bunch, the right hand's doing a bunch, and switching from, you know, triplets to quadruplets, and all. It's just fun, fun, fun. Okay, so here's how it sounds slowed down with both hands. Okay, let's go ahead and go move on into part 7. This is going to be our last part, so guys, we're almost done with this. Compared to the last part, it's going to be pretty easy because the right hand's just going to end up doing a lot of the same, yeah, that sort of stuff. So you should already know how to do that by this point, I'd hope, because you've gone through part 1 and I believe it's part 4. So, yeah. Here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the left hand. Here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, you want to go ahead and break it down for you now? Okay, so let's move on into the right hand. Pretty simple, a little more embellished than the other ones, but yeah, here we go. Here's how it sounds all the way through. Okay, I go ahead and slow down and break it down for you. Okay, so here it is, slowed down with both hands. And there you have it. That is my tutorial for I Have to Find a Way. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.